Like, why don't we just do it right now? Like, why don't we just do it live right now? How to drive this Exocraft like a pro, okay? And there's a couple things that I think that we need to pay attention to start off this awesome tutorial. The very first thing, and they're pro tips, I guess it's 2 pro tips as far as driving this Exocraft like a pro. First thing is the full stop, right? Doing a full stop is only possible in this Exocraft if you jump out of it midair. Like if I'm in the middle of a jump, and let's go ahead back to the portal so I can show you what I'm talking about. But if I'm in mid jump and I find out I'm about to go over the edge and I'm like, oh no, I don't want to go over that edge, jump out of it. Your Exocraft will come to a full stop, you will jump out midair full stop, and you will not move forward any longer. And so let me do that again. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm about to go over this edge. I'm like, oh no, don't go over the edge. Exit the Exocraft mid-air, boost down to the ground so you don't kill yourself. And that's the only way to come to a full stop. Bam, right on a dime. That's pro tip number 1. Pro tip number 2 is left and right drift. You see what I'm doing right here? This left and right drift. That gets me out of the way of trees and out of the way of cover so effectively. Right, and I see people doing this a lot. Like they're just moving forward and crashing into trees, and then they have to back out, move forward, and they crash into another tree. But with this left and right directional kind of drift that I'm doing in mid-air, it allows me to get into a good position or get out of a bad position very, very, very quickly. So those are the 2 pro tips as far as driving this Exocraft like a pro. Okay, actually, let me give you another pro tip. Three pro tips on driving this Exocraft like a pro. The other 3rd pro tip I will give you is slowing down mid-air in order to cue yourself up for a good jump. And the way that you do that is when you're in mid-air, just pull back on your left joystick, right? Pushing your left joystick forward is how you get directional momentum, right? You have to hold the joystick forward in order to drift forward like this. Right, but that causes your Exocraft to kind of lean backwards like that, right? But if you're in mid-air and you want to catch a good jump, like let's say we go over this rock, we got a good jump going, but I want to catch that jump below me, pull back on the thumbstick, you'll drop down right on top of it and you'll be in position for another good jump. Pull back on it, whoop, 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 another good jump. You're ready. You want to catch that jump to the left, pull back, boom, 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 take the jump to the left. You see what I'm saying? So that's a lot of the time is what I'm doing to cue myself up for the good jumps. And the reason why I'm queuing myself up for good jumps is because the longer that you spend in the air, the faster that you're moving. If you're on the ground in this Exocraft, you're not moving as fast as you could be if you're in mid-air. So I cue myself up for jumps very, very, very often, okay? Another pro tip. Actually 4. Here we go. 4 pro tips. When I come and I'm driving on a flat terrain or I'm driving on a terrain that doesn't have very many jumps, if I see a hole in the ground like this, I'll press up against the back side of that hole, and even if it's a vertical jump, it's still going to help you move forward faster, right? And so let me show you what I mean. I come up, there's not a lot of jumps around here, right? I'm like, damn, I'm not seeing a lot of jumps. I'm moving pretty slow because I'm not seeing a lot. But what I will do is I'll see a hole like this, I'll be like, oh, cool, hole. I'll drop inside of it, use that momentum, even if it's vertical, to get a good jump like that. And so I'm like, damn, there's not a lot of good jumps over here. I see another hole that's right here. Let me just jump into the side of it real quick. Use that momentum to get some little bit of a forward kind of burst out of it. You know what I mean? And so over the course of me doing this all 255 galaxies in 30 days and doing this, I've spent probably a good 50 to 75 hours in this Exocraft. I think I'm in a very unique position to kind of help people. And then just look at this hole right here. I'm gonna get right. I want to get into that hole. Use it to get some momentum if there's not a lot of jumps around you. And so another thing that you'll see me doing while I'm running around driving this Exocraft like a pro is my boost. Not very often am I using the full boost all the way until it turns red like that, right? And so what I'm looking at is in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, I'm looking at that boost meter. And very often I do not burn it all until it goes red like that. because I always want to be ready for the next jump that I've queued myself up for. And so in a situation like this, because I got a lot of air, I'll burn it all. And now that I'm back towards the ground, I'm tapping, tap boost, tap boost. Then I'll burn it all because I got a big jump. And then I'll burn it all because I'm still in the air. But then when I'm here, I'm tapping, tap. I keep tapping the burst button so that I don't burn it all. And what that does for me is, obviously that boost is on a cooldown. So if you burn it all, I can't hit it again. I can't hit it again until it's all the way charged. And so what I'll do is I'll just burst it. And when I'm in midair, I just continue to burst it until I queue myself up for a good jump, bam, and then I'll burn it all. And then now that I'm on the ground, I'm bursting it. I'm not burning it all. I'm just gonna burst, keep bursting it until I queue myself for a good jump. Like right here, pull back on the joystick, queue up for a good jump, and then I'll burn it all just to get as much height as I can. Burn it all so I can get as much distance as I can. So you see what I'm in? And then I'm tapping, and then I'm tapping, and then I'm tapping. Okay? And then so there's one more thing that you can do to drive this Exocraft like a pro. You put all of these things together. You put all of this knowledge together. And there's one more thing that you could do to drive this Exocraft like a pro. And that is the jump option that you have, right? So you see me doing this little jump right here. So this jump gets you a lot of extra air if you go over the edge of a jump and you hit X right over the edge of the jump. It gives you a good kind of vertical jump kind of added to it, right? And it gets you extra air. But a lot of people, what you'll see is when people are using the Exocraft and they're going around boosting, and let's use this jump right here, what they'll do is they'll jump in the air and use it, right? They'll jump in the air and boost it immediately to get, to get some air. What I will do a lot of the time is, because I'm always thinking ahead how to queue myself up for the next jump, right? So I'm looking at these rocks in front of me. What I want to do to queue myself up for the next jump sometimes is I won't activate that jump until now. You see what I'm saying? I won't activate the jump until later in my glide in order to sometimes put myself in a position for a better jump. So I'll use this jump, boom, and then I'll hit it there. And you see how much extra air that gave me right at the last second. So it's all about putting yourself in a position to chain these jumps together to make sure that you are getting to where you need to go as fast as you can. And so now I'm going to drive around a little bit, right? I'm going to just talk through the controls that I'm using and why I'm using them and how I'm using them, so on and so forth. So you can just kind of see it in action, right? So you can see everything that I'm talking about in action. So let's go ahead and fuel this sucker up again. And so let's roll. All right, so now I'm tap boosting. I'm not hitting any good jumps, so I'm just going to tap boost. I'm tap boosting. I'm not going to use it all. This is a good jump. I'm going to burn all my boost, and I'm going to use X button to get a little bit of extra height. I'm going to burn all of my boost because it's going to give me extra distance, and now I'm going to tap boost. Tap boost, tap boost. I'm going to use the edge of this because there's no jumps around me. Boom, to get a lot of air. Not doing a full burn, just tap, tap, tap. Tapping the boost. Continue to tap the boost. Boom. Tap boost, tap boost. Bam. And so now I'm getting a good jump right here. I'm going to do something a little bit different. It's a good jump, but now I want to get a little further. Boom, hit X, and then you see how that X button pushed me over the edge of that rock. Now under the normal circumstance, if I would have used my boost earlier, that X little jump earlier, it would have hit me on the edge of this rock right here, and it would have messed up the chain of jumps that I had going. But because I activated that X jump late, it pushed me over the edge of this rock, and I was able to get back here and continue to chain my jumps together, right? So I'm just tap boosting. Boom, boom, boom. I did a nice little jump. I see that over there. Boom, I use my jump at the last second. Boom. Tap boost. I'm going to burn it all because I got a good jump in midair. Now I'm tap boosting. Tap boosting. And I'm always hitting X either on my jump, boom, to get a little bit of extra air, or I'm utilizing that jump like now, later in the jump, to get just a little bit extra. Just a little bit extra. And so another thing that is important to note about that X, that jump button, or A, or whatever it is for Xbox, is that no matter when you touch the ground, even if you just so much as graze the ground, you're able to use that jump again. So boom, here I use the jump. Boom, here I can use the jump. I get over here, bam, I can use the jump. So you can spam it as long as you're kind of skating across the ground. You know what I mean? Bam, jump. Tap boost. Tap boost. Boom. Tap boost. Jump late. Tap boost. Jump late. Get a little extra air. Bam. That was perfect. That was perfect. And so that's what you do, man. After about 75 hours in this Exocraft, those are my pro tips to drive that Exocraft like a pro. Those are some couple little extra tips on what I do. Drawing back on the left joystick to cue yourself up for jumps. Hitting that X or A button late in your glide in order to get over the last little obstacle that you see in front of you like this. Boom, get over that obstacle. Just like that. And so there's a few things that you can do, a couple things that you can enact. Do it. Go out there. Grab an Exocraft. Drive it like a pro. I'm going to jump back through this portal because I've wasted so much time. And I got to get through these galaxies.